Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you again for joining me. Today we have something new from Too Faced. We have the Too Faced and Natural Lust palette. This is like such a beautiful palette. I'm like a little bit obsessed with it. I do have the Too Faced and Natural Love to do a little comparison. As you can see, they're pretty much the same thing, except this one's a little bit blingier than this one. You do get 30 gorgeous shades, and you also have like a really nice size mirror. So this is what the colors looks like. You get 15 shimmers and you get 15 mattes. They're fun colors. They're colors that you could create for daytime, evening, and a little sass later in the day. And they're just really, really pretty. They're a little bit richer, like I said, than the Natural Love palette, which also has the big mirror. This is a palette that I love to reach for like weddings and stuff like that. Every time I have a bride that wants something nice and natural and pretty, this is the palette I reach for. I've been using both of these lately. I actually took out a bunch of my palettes and just kept these two, and I could pretty much create any look, especially with this one. This one's great to have if you're traveling or anything like that. It's a little big, but it's really nice because you could do so many different looks with this. Now, I did run into a couple of issues with some of the colors, especially like this one right here. Some of the colors you have to kind of like really work, but I just kind of go in with my finger and just kind of pat it in, and then it works like that. A couple colors like this one right here, I feel like they're more like a little bit of a topper. I'll show you that later after the tutorial, but I really do like it. So let's go ahead and go into some of the swatches as I throw the other one on the floor. Okay, so the first one we have here is Buff It Out. Go ahead and show you that one. And then we have Take the Cake, which is so pretty. And then we have a Sex Drive. Then we have Come and Get It, which is one of my favorite colors, and this blends out beautifully. Then we have On Fire. Then we have a Pin Down. As you can see, this is a color I was talking about that's going to give you a little bit of issues, but I really like it. It's so pretty once you make it work. Okay, and then we have Love Spark, which is a color I was saying it was more like a topper, because whenever I apply it with the brush, you know, I get better payoff with my finger. And then I have Afternoon Delight, which is a beautiful transitional color. Then we have Embrace Me. I'm going to go out on the other side. We have Oopsie Daisy. Sorry, Oopsie Daisy, I got a little blurry. Oh, I'm still a little blurry. Sorry. And sorry for the glare on my glasses. Oopsie Daisy. We have Temptation, which is a gorgeous olive green. Then we have a Sassy Brassy. And then we have Silk Robe. Just a soft bone color. We have a Flirty Pop. We have Just Like That. I'm running out of arm space. Then we have Set in Stone. And Hard to Get. Okay, then we have Love Language. Now, some of these colors, I feel, as pretty as they are, I feel like they could have done something a little bit different, because when you really start blending some of these colors out, let's say like this one and this one and this one, they kind of start looking the same to me. So I'm just saying. Okay, so then we have Set in Stone, Hard to Get. So a Love Language is the next one. Let me do it right here. This one does get a little bit on the choppier side. Then we have Too Good. We have Hard Fall. Oh no, Fall Hard. I started making it up. I said it backwards. Then we have Such a Tease. We have Hot to Trot. We have Spank Me. Some of the names are kind of fun. Okay, and then we have All Tied Up. We have ball and chain. Then we have Dien Me, which is, I really like that color. It's so pretty. Then we have Peep Show. Okay, and then you have a Peacotting, which is absolutely stunning. Oopsie. And then we have like a super jet black, and this is called Blindfolded. It's like super black. So we're going to go ahead and go into the look, and then I'm going to show you how to achieve this little look and how to kind of fix a little issues that I was having with this eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come and get it this really pretty rose color. I'm just going to put it all over my lower lid, and then I'm going to go past my crease. If you have a hooded eye, just go ahead and relax your eyebrow and just apply that color. That way it doesn't get choppy with any creases or anything like that. This palette just has like some of the most beautiful transitional colors. I like to go in towards my inner eyebrow, and then I just kind of like to buff it out towards my brow. And I like to just kind of go in a circular motion. And this is a Sonia Kashuk brush. Now I'm going to go in with a little Luxie brush. I'm going to go in with that same color. And I'm just going to smoke out my lower lash line. I do have a little bit of creasing right here, because it's my bone. The bone drives me crazy right here. So I always have to be careful and go back and just kind of go back into that little section. But I'm going to be adding something there, so I'm not really going to worry about it. So I'm going to go in the inner corners of the eye all the way to the outer corner. Now, the smaller the brush, the more color it's going to distribute. And then the bigger and fluffier the brush, the more diffuse that color is going to be. All right, now I'm going to go in with another little Luxie brush, and I'm going to go into Pinned Down. I believe that's the color. Really pretty, like cranberry rosy color. And I'm just going to focus that in the outer corners of my eye. And then I'm just going to go into circular motion and just go towards the brow bone. Little bit, not too much, and then I'm going to extend it a little bit towards my eyebrow. Then I'm going to go in a little bit. This color, I have to kind of work it a little bit just to get a little bit more payoff. I'm going to go with my finger and just kind of dab that color on there. This color, you have to work it a little bit, because as you saw, once you start kind of blending it, it shears out just a little bit. So I kind of like to go back in with my finger and dab a little color in there, and then just kind of work it. Then I'm going to take a clean brush, if I could grab it, and then I'm just going to go over everything so that it just marries together and it just looks nice and blown out. Okay, I'll worry about that little corner later. Then I'm going to take my little Luxie brush, go back into Pin Down, and then I'm just going to add a little bit more on top of that other color. Inner. And then I'm just going to start dragging it down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye. Okay, so I went ahead and finished my eye. I did dampen this brush a little bit, and when I went back into that color, it did make it a little bit more vibrant. Now, this is one of the colors that I always have a little issues kind of working it. I really have to work that color. I also find that whenever I use a primer, that color tends to kind of stick to it and have a little bit more issues trying to blend it out. That's why normally I don't use a lot of eye primers on the eyes. So I'm just trying to drag that down a little bit more. As you can see right here, it did get patchy. I kept trying to blend it, and it just kind of like sticks to that one little spot right there. So like no matter what I do, it just doesn't want to blend out. There, I think it's a little better. Okay, so I went ahead and did a little bit of mascara and my liner before I applied my lashes. Now I went in, as you can see right here, this side looks a little bit more blown out than this side. You can see a little bit of the choppiness. So I went ahead and went in with this color right here. Oops, it's on backwards. A Sexy Drive. I went in with that one and I put it on my finger and just kind of dabbed it everywhere. And it just kind of helped everything with the patchiness. So it looks a little bit more blown out. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on the other side so that you could see what I'm talking about. See, and all that patchiness just kind of went away. Then I just go over it with the brush and just kind of blend everything out. And that's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my lashes on. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use my Laura Geller little powder foundation that I've been obsessed with. I'm just going to buff that all over my skin. And then I'm going to go into my blushing in Bali. I'm going to use this little, actually I'm going to dip into both of these right here. And I'm using my little Amazon brush that is not the best brush because it does kind of fall apart, but I love the way it picks up color. And I'm just going to apply that in the apples on my cheeks and just kind of blow it out towards the back. Did I put too much on one side? I don't know, maybe. I always go in the back of my hand because this palette is super pigmented. So I always go back of my hand and then take the excess off. And then if you put a little bit too much on one cheek, like I believe I just did, I just get my little foundation brush and just kind of go over it a little bit just to take a little color off. All right, now I'm going to get my little highlighter brush and I'm going to go ahead and go into this color. Sorry, there is a truck going by. And I'm just going to work that towards my temples, a little bit on my nose, a little bit on my Cupid's bow. And then I'm going to go in with my little Pat McGrath lip gloss here. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I like to go outside my natural lip line because I don't use a lot of lip liner. And I want my lips to look naturally pouty. So that kind of helps a little. I just want to eat this lip gloss. And that's it. Okay, so this palette, where did it go? This palette, I actually use it a lot. I think it's really pretty. There are some colors that are a little bit harder to use, but like all these little shimmers and stuff, they blend out beautifully. And I just kind of go over it. You know, I just use some of these shivers over those colors like I did with this one that get a little bit on the choppy side. Now this one right here, I feel like it's almost like a lid topper. It's called Love Spark. I'm trying to look at it without my glasses. Okay, so Love Spark. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like with my finger. And then I'm going to apply it with the brush so that you could see the difference. I'm going to go in there. And you don't really get like a ton of payoff when you go in with the brush. That's why I feel like that's more of like a little topper, and it looks great when you apply it with your finger. Anyway, I think it's a really pretty palette. I have been using the heck out of it. There's so many beautiful transitional colors. You could go from like a daytime look to an evening to like a really fun and sassy look. There's so many different colors to work with. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this palette. I really do like it, and that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again for my next one. Bye.